Welcome back to the Idle Talk Minis. I'm using a different microphone today. Sorry, I had to step away. I had to cough. I was dying, but I'm using the Rode Wireless Go 2 mics today. They're very sensitive. I'm seeing as every single bit of noise I'm talking directly into the mic is picking it up pretty like ferociously, and I have the little like slider how sensitive it should be on the podcast software. I have it all the way down pretty much. So it is a very sensitive mic. Fortunately, I did not use these mics to record an episode of Idle Talk with Fabrian because I was so close to doing so. Currently, my window to my kitchen is open, so if you hear any cars, any police, any firefighters, please disregard that. But today, I'm here to talk to you about the hottest thing on the internet right now. And if you know, you know. If you've ever watched Ned's Declassified School Survivor Guide, it's on Netflix right now, but that's not the point. But I've been watching it. It's a great show. I love that show. It's funny how you can kind of see like how practical things were in that show. It was like when the books fell out of the lockers, you can kind of see somebody's hand like in the way, shoving down the books and shit. But there's a podcast that the three main characters, Ned, Mose, and Cookie, so their prospective actors. Let me see if I can remember their names. I think it's Devin is Ned. Cookie's name is Cookie, obviously, and Moses' name is Jennifer, obviously. I Daniel, right? Daniel, that guy's name is Daniel. Cookie's Daniel, and I'm blanking on Moses' name. So that's the girl best friend of the trio. I'm trying to remember what her name was. But if you didn't know, they have a podcast together, and it's like the craziest podcast ever because it's like seeing the three friend groups back at it again, like hanging out with each other, doing funny shit, but also they talk about their real life, like outside of the show and like what happened to them and fun fact, fucking Devin, aka Ned Bigby, he got like arrested for like a DUI, like a very minor one, but like still, but never made like TMZ and shit because he was like irrelevant at the time. And he talks about like losing all the money that he made from Ned's and going and trying to be in other shows and not having the acting ability to do so because Ned's was more like a not your typical acting show, and so he thought he was a really good actor and turns out he wasn't, question mark. No, but he just wasn't prepared on the level of other actors coming into the show. And they mentioned, I don't know if you know, but Carlos Pena, who plays Carlos in Big Time Rush, he's on the show for a little bit. But when they were casting for Ned's, they were doing like reshoots and like recastings, and so it was Ned, the original Ned we see, the original Mose we see, and then instead of Cookie, there was somebody else, and it was just like a white kid. So they recasted that white kid to be a little bit inclusive. So they brought in Cookie, but they also brought in Carlos Pena to audition for Ned, and he and he tells a story about how Carlos was like really confident that that was going to be his show, and Devin was like, "No, this is." Devin was like, "No, this is my show." I don't know if you guys heard that. It looks like fucking stove farted or something outside was going on, shook the whole building or whatever, and the cops are like out and about now. But yeah, that if you don't listen to podcasts, but you love like old school Nickelodeon type stuff, give the Ned's Declassified podcast a listen. I promise it'll be worth it. You won't regret a single thing. It's a very short podcast. It's only like an hour long each episode, like 40 minutes at max sometimes. But it's very interesting to hear these three people come back together and share their stories on something that they worked on as children and really getting to reflect and see how they've grown up from that point. I'm watching the waves form, and I stopped talking because there was a lot of background noise, but I can kind of see them. It's like a slight little waveform forming in the background. So these mics are very sensitive. I can tweak them to be a little bit less sensitive, but I think once you start lowering the gain a little bit, it can mess up and like not be as crisp and as like professional sounding as possible. If you didn't know, these mics are the same mics you see on TikTok or like fitness influencers who have like a little mic with like a blue light attached to their shirt. So I did buy these for that kind of content because at some point in my fitness TikTok era, I was doing voiceovers live in the middle of lifts and stuff. So I started with doing the voiceovers after the fact, like getting in and doing the voiceovers after each and every lift and just recapping what I did for the day. But there was a moment in time where I did them live, and I think that did help my progress a little bit. My growth on TikTok a little bit. It definitely got the likes a lot more. Like I was getting like 100 likes per video. Oh, while I did the live voiceover things, and I was going to getting like, if I got like 500 views, I got like 100 likes, and if I got like 300 views, I still got like 100 likes. So the like to view ratio didn't really matter when I had these microphones. But then I stopped because I couldn't find a way to record audio and video at the same time. Now I have a better system. Now I could, if I really wanted to. I bought a cage where I could, put the transmitter on one side of the cage and then the microphone on myself. But I think the way we've been training lately, it's better to just do the voiceovers afterwards. But I also bought a case for these microphones because they don't come with a charging case. So I got this case from ZG Cine, I guess, or like Cinema or whatever. But it's like you open the case and there's like 3 USB-C slots, and there's one for the transmitter and then the 2 receivers that I bought the bundle with the 2 receivers on it. But it charges your microphones in this case. So I thought that was a must buy if you have these. I'll put a link in the show notes if anybody wants to go buy this. But yeah, I mean, go listen to the Ned's Declassified podcast. It's honestly, like, if you loved Ned, so as a kid, you're gonna love this podcast. They talk about just the different celebrities that were in there. Like they talk about like Susie, who was in The Walking Dead as Rosita, and her, her trajectory of her career or whatever. And they talk about the guy who played Seth, and they talked about how Austin Butler was like a background character for a little bit during Ned's. And I'm rewatching Ned's now, and I kind of can see that. I'm like, oh, that's fucking Austin Butler back there, which was hilarious to see him as a child without that Elvis accent. But yeah, go check that out, and I'll see you tomorrow for another Idle Talk Mini. Peace.